And hello, everybody, and welcome to another One Take podcast episode here. I'm back with my good friend, ThatSamoanGuy. Welcome back, Samoan Guy, to the podcast.
You have no idea how hard it was to not just scream Mortal Kombat as loud as I could. I am so excited for today, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe for the gentle listener, that might
Yeah,
not
just
be the nicest.
probably those headphone users that are like, oh, rip
Mm-hmm.
headphone users.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
um,
So
s-
instead, I'll just Mortal Kombat.
so in case you don't know, what me and that Simone guy are huge Mortal Kombat fans, and we just recently learned that Ed Boon announced the official announcement of Mortal Kombat 12 a couple days ago. So we were just kind of like talking about it, and we decided to come up with a podcast of our own of which characters we want to see in MK12.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we decided to go like with up to 15 characters, I believe, and the rules is that if we have duplicates, we can allow ourselves to have up to three duplicates. If so, then we'll change it out for somebody else on the fly. But other than that, we're just this whole podcast is actually pretty different from the ones we usually do. We're just giving our per se predictions and our hopes for Mortal Kombat 12 this year. Considering that they're both coming out with Street Fighter 6, Jesus Christ, holy shit.
Yeah, it's the year of fighting games. We're doing good this year.
We did good last year, we're doing good this year, man. I can't believe it.
And we've got like a little like I don't know how much you want to stick to the point system to see like who which one of us comes out on top or not.
Well,
Um,
I don't know if we need to do points per se, but like, well, I guess we could do it when the game comes out or when they announce the characters, and
hmm.
then we'll be like, oh, 1 point for us, 1 point for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you wanted to make it real interesting, the loser could buy the winner the first DLC character.
You know what? That actually sounds pretty interesting, if you ask me.
Make this a little spice into the
Well, I
game.
actually do have some DLC predictions in my list too, but we'll get to
Nice.
that when we get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to
But
that.
I guess I'll start off first since the last time we did the
Hmm.
movie one, you started off first, I think.
And it is your show. This is
So,
your world. I am just visiting.
so
I'm
my
your
first,
cameo for the day.
my first prediction or hope that the character that goes into MK12 is Sector. Um,
Ooh, okay.
Sector, I really like Sector. You like
Hmm.
Cyrax. I prefer Sector just because he's red, and my favorite color is red. So I played a lot of Sector back in three. Was it
Hmm.
three? Yeah, I played a lot of Sector in three and MK9. So
He was godlike in
I know.
MK9.
That's
He was
why
ridiculous.
I was kind of sad and they didn't bring him back in the last one. So I was like, okay, I really hope this time around they actually do bring him back
Especially when
because
he was story important
he
too.
was story important. Him and Cyrex are pretty important to the story, actually. So
Yeah.
it's like I would like to see him make a return of some form, like because he
Yeah.
was really cool in my opinion
All
and very
right.
fun to
All
play
right.
with. Who's your first character?
My first one that I want to see possibly the most, if for no other reason than just like the biggest fan, is Reptile.
Okay, yeah,
I
Reptile's
I
definitely a given.
I need to see Reptile back. I've been a huge Reptile mark since like the 90s when the first movie came out. And they made him like he has the best fight in the first movie. The first movie is a lot of fun, but
Mm-hmm.
like I'm like everyone loves that fight. That's the most memorable fight of the whole movie. And it almost wasn't in the movie because they did the test screening and the audiences were like, "Yeah, it's okay, but I kind of thought there'd be a few more fights in it. It's kind of slow in the last half." So they went back and they added a couple more fights, and Reptile was one of them. And he hasn't been cool since the 90s. Each time they keep doing it, they make him worse.
I
Um,
know, like, why is it
he-
that they just somehow make him seem like he's so weak? Like,
it's
he's
a
not,
part.
though.
He's not though. Part of it is because they keep getting away from the ninja part of him, and they keep leaning into the lizard part of him, which like I understand to a degree. His name is Reptile. Like you have to lean into it at least a little bit. But like to literally make him a lizard walking on two legs, I'm like, come on. Like in MKX, he looked okay, but he was like a weird creeper that was like eating dirt, and he had jack all to do with the story. And everyone kicks his ass. So I would like to see Reptile back and be badass. And oh my god, if they put in because now MK11 has reset the timeline. If Reptile comes back and they have a skin for him for the like the OG movie, like they did with Johnny Cage and Raiden and Sonya, if they gave him a classic Reptile skin from the movie, oh, oh,
Immediate buy.
hmm I'll buy it twice. I don't even know if that is technically possible, but I'll do it.
So is it my turn next?
Yep, back to you.
My second character chosen for this MK12 prediction roster is
Mm.
Striker.
Really?
Okay, I know.
You
I
gotta
know.
be shitting me. I want to hear this.
I know what you're saying. You're probably thinking to yourself, what the fuck, Sean? Why did you choose Striker?
You have the floor, sir.
I have the floor. Okay, let me just explain. I liked playing Striker in MK9. I thought he was
Mm.
fun. I thought he
Mm.
was more fun than most of the human characters, actually. So, like, that's just to me. I would like to see some sort of form of return for Striker, even though he is dead. Like you said, they reset the timeline. So,
Yeah, anything goes.
so
They can do
yeah,
whatever they want.
personally,
I, I was
pers-
thinking about it. Like, we could even see like Cassie Cage might be Johnny's like sister in this because it's a completely different thing. They could do whatever they want.
that's what I'm saying. So, like, just give Striker a chance, a second chance. Let's give
Mm.
Striker a second chance. Have
Mm.
redemption.
Do you think though that they will avoid using Striker just because of everything that's kind of come out
You know
for
what?
like
That's
real
that's what I'm
life
thinking.
politics?
That's what I'm thinking though, because like the whole like movements and stuff like that, and like
They put they put RoboCop in there though too in MK11,
but
and he's
RoboCop is like a parody of that though, isn't it? Like, isn't he supposed to be as a parody?
that's a good point. Yeah, part of what makes RoboCop cool is that he goes outside the limits of the law, even though he was a cop. But I mean,
But he goes like to the point where he just kills criminals that are doing bad things,
yes,
So
exactly. Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna concede my point. You have a good point. He is definitely like a satire
like
of law enforcement.
I understand why they put RoboCop in the last game. So
Hmm. Yeah.
give Striker a chance. Maybe. Well, how about this? Let's make him like a rogue cop. Like he doesn't believe in the law anymore, or some shit like that. You know?
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Kind of lean into it, sort of, without getting too in your face
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Maybe he like starts out part of the system, and then like, man, this is
Fucked up.
this is so messed up. Fuck this, and
Well,
then
because he's
like
friends
joins
with
like Earth
with
Forces.
isn't he friends with Sonya and Jack? So, like,
I think so. I don't quite. It's been so long since I
it's been
played
long too since I
MK9.
played 9 as well. But like, I
Well,
would like to see
maybe
some sort of form of
maybe
return.
maybe if NetherRealm would allow us to play the fucking game without requiring an Xbox 360 or a
Or
PS3. I'm just
PS3. I
saying,
mean I
maybe.
have a PS3, but still, it's like it's
Sure,
still hard.
yeah,
It's still hard for a lot of people though that don't.
but it'd be a lot easier to make it a lot easier to play those games is just to scroll over on my PS4 or Steam and just hit the digital version and just boot it up.
I know, right?
I would
Just be
love that.
so easy. All right. So your second character now?
I'm gonna go out a little left field with this one.
I like left field.
I a left field. Okay, I'm gonna spend some time in the left field. I'm gonna say the Great Kung Lao
The
will
Great Kung
be
Lao.
the Great Kung Lao, because now we've gone back in time. We've reset things to the first tournament or or maybe first tournament ever. I don't know, but
So wait, just to clarify, we're talking about the Kung Lao that was like bald and all that.
yes, the Kung Lao
Okay,
before Liu Kang and Kung Lao, like the one we know is around.
got
We're
you.
talking
Okay,
about the one that originally the one that was killed by Goro.
okay. So okay, I just got an image. Okay, so you're talking about that one then. Okay, so explain then. Why do you want the green Kung Lao in this?
Well, partially because I'm sick of the Kung Lao we have now. I could use a break from. He's not terrible, but like I could use a different interpretation of the character. But still keeping the same like motif of like the hat and his weird like jump teleport thing. Um, it would be kind of neat to see uh Kung Lao's origins, so to speak, like his ancestors. Again, if you're resetting things and we're doing uh, a new timeline, it would be nice to see some things that are a little different. Obviously, a lot is going to be the same. It's still going to be a tournament. There's still going to be martial arts and sorcery and shit like that. But it would also be nice to see them explore same but different. I guess is the phrase I'll go with. Same but different.
I see what you mean because like it's kind of similar to like Cyber Sub Zero and Sub Zero. You know how it's different,
Yeah,
but it's
that was
like
so cool.
I know, but like I would like to see that with Kung Lao as well. Because can I be honest with you, I'm getting kind of annoyed at the Kung Lao we're getting to. So
He definitely worked for a while, like 3 games solid of this interpretation of the character. But part of the reason you reset things is to give yourself an opportunity to, try out new avenues. And I think, Great Kung Lao is a uh, perfect opportunity to do that with Kung Lao.
I think so too. So is it my third character now?
Yeah, yeah. Back to you.
Okay, so speak. This might be also kind of left fieldish in a way, with what I'm choosing here.
Yeah, go for
Um,
it.
Raiko.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because we haven't seen him in a while, and we did see him in the newest movie, even though that wasn't really Raiko, but like
Reiko in name only.
Raiko in name only. But
Uh,
I would like to see him return. Honestly, he was really cool to play as in Mortal Kombat. What was it, 4 or 3?
it was 4.
It was 4. Yes, 4. Okay, yeah, I thought he was cool to play in Mortal Kombat 4. So I was like, you know what? Let's bring back some Mortal Kombat 4 people into this shit. We haven't seen them in a while,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, and actually, I've got him on my list too. Further on down the
Oh,
road.
okay.
Yeah, I like his.
I'll just put him
He,
on the on your uh list as well right now, so that we can avoid confusion.
yeah. Um. Oh, excuse me. Um. He was fun to play as, but what I liked the most about him was the story implication that he was obsessed with being the next Shao Kahn. Like he to the point of like driving himself mad. Like he wanted to be the guy. Like if he's definitely the guy that like he would take Shao Kahn's skin and wear it over his skin, and he would be like, "Yeah, no, I'm Shao Kahn," and he would just think it's totally normal. I think he has real potential to be like the next, like a new big villain if they bring him back.
Yeah, I think so too. So it's like I think he could be really cool if they like give him some like fleshed out story in 12, like just give him like a interesting backstory, like maybe like I don't know. We don't honestly know much about him honestly, other than being like Shao Kahn's handyman.
Yeah, like obsessed with it. But yeah,
Yeah.
besides that, there's not you can expand it.
So what is it? So we technically have that as 3 characters for both of us. So you could go to your fourth character if you'd like, or whatever. Or what is it? Technically, your I don't even know now. What would technically your next character be?
My next it would be just my third choice. I said I had Reiko on my list, but it's further down. It's like my 10th one.
Okay, well, I still put it onto your list anyways right
Yeah,
now. But
yeah.
what's your next character anyways?
My next one is Ermac. I
Of
miss,
course.
I miss my boy. I need him back so bad. I thought he was okay in MK9. I wasn't like big on his design, but he's fun to play as. MK10 really sold me. I know some people didn't like the like weird kind of mummy Sith look to him. I thought it was fucking sick. I loved that he really started to get his own identity in like his gameplay because like by default he's not even touching the ground really. He floats around. And I think that's those little touches here and there is real potential for the character. And I like the idea that in MK10 they kind of hinted that one of the souls in Ermac's body is Shao Kahn, and that slowly Shao Kahn would start to kind of fight over Ermac's body and try and possess him. And I thought that was a neat idea. I think it doesn't even have to be Shao Kahn necessarily, but they could do that with him in MK12. Ermac could be a good guy. There could be a good person's soul in there, and like I don't know, they commune with. I don't know. There's a lot you could do with Ermac as a character. Plus, like I'm a sucker for teleports. You put a I'm a simple man. You put a good teleport character in your game, I'm in.
Man, I played a lot of people against Ermac, and fuck, he was such a bitch to go against.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean, yeah,
god.
it's not easy. And plus, like, do you remember when MKX came out? There was a glitch where if he did a fireball in the air, he would immediately gain a full bar of
No,
meter.
that's exactly what my friend did to me, and I
It
was
was
so
so
pissed
fucked up.
off. I
It's like,
was
what?
pissed.
Why? How?
No, I was
How is this a
pissed.
thing?
I was so pissed off because my friend, one of my best friends who played with me MKX all the time too,
Yeah.
when we were like hanging out in person, like playing split screen,
hmm
he was fucking me up with that glitch, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, stop it!"
How are you getting so much meter?
I
What?
know.
How? Thank God for modern day like game patches to fix that shit. Because if this was back in the
Yeah.
'90s and
Oh
they put the
no,
game
people would
out,
be so
oh
mad.
god, that banned,
Banned from game tournaments and shit like that.
banned from life.
So is it my number four
Yeah,
now, technically?
yeah, you're yeah.
So I'm yeah, also technically from MK4 and also in MKX was as downloadable DLC. Tanya, I would like to see Tanya come back.
Ooh,
Honestly, I
all right.
really liked her. I liked playing as her in both games, and I just think she has a cool design too. I like most of the. I honestly like all the women in Mortal Kombat. So like they're really without being too preachy about sexy though, honestly. But like
Hmm.
but like seriously though, like Tanya was so much fun to play as in my opinion, and I don't know. I just like the name because the name is also one of my best friends. So yeah, I would like to see Tanya come back in MK12.
Yeah, they really went the extra when they you mentioned that she was DLC. They really went the extra mile of giving her like really good move set when they brought her back,
She
which
was
I
also like
appreciated.
a bad guy of some sorts in the story mode too. Like when you
hmm
played the story mode of MKX. So I was like, you know what? I feel like if you flesh her out more, I think she could be really interesting as a character.
Yeah.
So what's your next character now?
Also a kind of left field, but also kind of following your curtails of like of cool female characters, but also a little left field. I want to see Nightwolf in a different Nightwolf in general. I would be cool with,
Oh,
but I would really like it if they followed up on some of the fan theories that Nightwolf is a title and not just one person. I think it'd be kind of cool. Like, what if we got Amber Mid Thunder to do a
ooh,
female
that'd be sick
Nightwolf?
actually.
That'd be pretty
So you
cool.
want something like why? So is this like a theory that I've never heard of this before?
There was for a little while. I honestly like in my what I wrote down on my list was just Nightwolf, but in my head, it's anything. If it says Nightwolf in the character select, it counts because it could be the guy. It could just be the same guy again. But there was a theory for a little bit because there was a leak for some of the dialogue in MK11 that seemed to indicate that there was more than that. Nightwolf is has been a girl in the past, and so that's kind of implied that Nightwolf was a moniker. It was passed down from one shaman to the next. kind of like the same spirit in multiple bodies. And I think that again, with the reset, that gives a lot of opportunity to, reinterpret the character. And I think that one that would be pretty well received is a female Nightwolf.
You know what? I fuck with that. I would definitely be down for that because
Yeah.
Nightwolf is one of my favorite characters,
Hmm.
and I would seeing a different take on Nightwolf would be so interesting, and a female one would be very cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would definitely love to see it, honestly, because again, Nightwolf is one of my favorites to play as in every single one he's in. So
Hmm.
if they do a different interpretation, but just have a similar badass set, I would be so down for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it my turn next?
Yeah, you're fifth. Hit me up.
Okay. So this one is another female character that
Mm.
we haven't seen really in a while, but it was in the recent Mortal Kombat film, Nitara.
Oh
Yeah, we haven't seen her since what was it, Deadly Alliance, technically,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
Armageddon.
Game wise, yes. And then the movie came out, and she was in that, and she was in one of the animated movies, I think.
She was in
Some
the
of
first animated movie, from what I
Okay.
remembered, and then
Okay.
she did make a cameo in MK11, but she wasn't playable, obviously.
Yeah.
So again, I think that does lead to like maybe she could be in MK12 as a playable character,
Yeah, that
probably.
means that somebody was thinking about her and pitched her, and they said yes. So you've got a good chance of her showing up.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like thinking, I think she should make a good appearance, like a playable character appearance. So I would like
Hmm.
to see her come back, considering that she was in the newest film too. So it's like, yeah, I think there is
Yeah.
a chance.
Yeah.
So is it your turn next again?
Yes, sir. And again, I'm gonna take a little bit of a safer choice now because there were a couple of out there ideas. But I would like to see Kenshi again. It's been a little bit.
Oh, I also have him on my list, so that's a duplicate for me.
Ooh,
But let
okay.
me just get that set up real quick.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
But you could talk about Kenshi while I get this set up. I love Kenshi personally too, so I would
He
love to see him come back.
There was a bad batch of Mortal Kombat games where you look at the new characters they were introducing and you're just like, guys, what are you doing? What even is this? How do you pronounce Su? How do you say this person's name? There were so many god awful ones, but and Kenshi by far and away was the best out of that era. I mean, he was around MK9, 10, and everybody loved him. He and there's a reason. Like we like Blind Swordsman, but he's also like telekinetic. It's interesting. Anyway, um, yeah, if we're talking like we've got like Nitara on here, we have uh Reiko, and there's gonna be some weird ones too later on from like that era. Um, and while we do want to see them redone correctly, no reason to leave the good stuff behind. We can bring Kenshi back.
Yeah, I love playing Kenshi in the previous game, so like I would love to see him come back honestly as well. So
Hmm.
and I actually heard his newest animated film Snowblind was the best one out of the three, and I do want to see that at some point. Have you seen the animated film that he stars in?
No, I haven't seen any of the animated ones. I always see the trailer for them, and I'm always like, "Yep, that looks like a Mortal Kombat thing." Where I don't know. I don't like the animation, and I'm always just like, just give me the game. I don't.
I
I hear
actually
Plinkett,
suggest giving the first one a chance.
the first one.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
All right.
And I do want to see the newest one, but don't see the second one. The second one's not good.
Universally, it seems to be that like everybody agrees that like the second one was a waste of time.
It's not good at all. So it's my turn again.
Round 6.
All right. So my next character, speaking of which, we mentioned him before, Cyber Sub-Zero. I would love to see make a
Really?
return. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
because similar to Sector, I just loved playing Cyber Sub-Zero a lot. I actually
Hmm.
think I played more Cyber Sub-Zero than regular Sub-Zero in back in the day. So like I would just like to see this like a new design for him and
Hmm.
stuff like that. Like I could see so much potential of having so much fun with Cyber Sub-Zero, you know? Like
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun playing as Cyber Sub-Zero back in the MK what was it, 9? Was he a 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, MK9. I love playing him as in MK9.
It was
So
such a neat idea.
it was so neat, and that's why I hope they bring him back at some point.
Mm.
What do you think of Cyber Sub-Zero?
I like him. I think he's nice. I think he's cool. It was interesting to get. I remember forever like getting the X-ray and clicking the buttons, and be like, why doesn't it work? But then like, oh, you have to do it in the air. Gotcha. Like it was an interesting way to vary up the character too. And again, story important
Yeah, and that's
because
why I hope he returns because he's
because
story important.
because Raiden was messing around with the timeline, and he's like, oh, well, instead of Smoke getting turned into a robot, it was Sub-Zero. Whoops. But we got a cool character out of it.
All right, so it's your turn next now.
Yeah, we're going back to the left field again, but I'm finding that there's another left field within the left field, and that's where I'm pulling this character from. Um, my sixth choice is Dramen.
Dramen.
Hmm.
Really?
Yes, and I realize that this is pretty big swing. I know
That's
it's
such a huge swing.
probably
That is like the biggest swing I've heard of since I don't know, man. Like,
I
fuck.
don't even I think Drummond has a cool design, and I think that you could, especially with the talent that I've seen when they've updated these characters. I think Drummond has. I would love to see how he's reinterpreted. He's also like, isn't he like thousands of years old? It's conceivable that he would still exist during this time reset. I don't know how prevalent he would be. He might be a collector kind of situation where he's just there in the story for like a scene or two, and then is it ultimately makes no impact on the story at all. But uh, out of that era, like he was one of the ones I was like, oh, he looks interesting, and then you play as him, you're like, I don't want to play this anymore. But they could fix that. They're I think they're up to the challenge.
I mean, technically speaking, he did make an appearance in MKX and 11, so I mean, like,
Yeah,
you
they
could
again
technically bring him back.
they haven't forgotten him entirely.
So yeah, I guess like you do have a point with that. Honestly, yeah, they could bring him back. Honestly, but
They could.
that was such a left field answer. I was like, what? That's a character I haven't
Uh,
heard of in like centuries.
uh-huh. Yep. I know. I know.
Since what,
I'm
like
here.
Armageddon and Deadly Lions?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not? I'm
Are
very
you not
entertained right now.
entertained?
So
But
is
here's the
it
thing.
my
If
yeah.
if MK12 comes out and we see Drummond on there, you know I'm gonna be just fucking whooping and hollering. You're gonna hear me from another city.
I'll make sure to get my hearing glass out if I hear
Hey.
it. So is it my turn again?
Yes.
So, yeah. Speaking of MKX, I really liked playing as them. So I guess you could say this is a double. So this is a two-parter choice.
Mm.
So two character choice.
Hmm.
Farah and Tor.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. They'll yeah. I
What
that's
the heck happened?
that's one character I would say.
Okay, well, hold up real quick. I just need to pull up the image real quick. I didn't know what happened. Give me 1 second. I don't know why my image didn't pop up.
No, you're good. Ferritor was another one of those from, when MKX was releasing, like, hey, not only are we reinventing your favorites, but we've got new characters. And you kind of get nervous, like, oh, God, here we go. But then
Here
you
we
see Ferritor and go,
go.
like, actually, that's pretty cool, actually. All of the new characters in MKX were great.
So how I would like to see this pulled off actually is I would like to see like I actually like to see them as separate characters. Tora could be a bit more grown up at this timeline, like
Hmm.
teenage or even young adult age at this point. Like, and she could have her own badass set, honestly, considering she's like fast, has knives and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So
Hmm.
I would like to see um Farah. Well, is it? Wait, is it Farah? Technically, sorry, Farah is Tor's the big one, right?
Tor's the big one, yeah.
Sorry, I mixed them up.
No,
Farah,
you're fine.
Farah. I would like to see Farah be on her own in a
Mm.
way, and Tor be separate too. But they could still like have like uh, if they ever like story wise, like they could always be together.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would like to see them come back in 12 since they were fun to play as in 10.
They were, yeah. And I saw some people doing some nutty stuff with Ferritor.
So it's your turn next now.
Yeah, we were kind of in left field for a little bit, so I'm retreating back to a safer choice with Melina. It's a fan it's a
Of course,
fan choice
Melina.
for sure. Yeah, I know, I know.
Of
Uh,
course.
I think that partially because I think she might even be in like the initial like when they announced the game, just because like Ed Boon has come out and said like we always intended Melina to be in Mortal Kombat 11. We just thought we would delay it a little bit, but holy crap, people really jumped down our throats with it. We didn't think there'd be this much backlash. I think they've learned that lesson, and I think that I think that almost to kind of like in direct response to it, I think that they might just go ahead and like screw it. Here's Melina, like right out the
I
gate.
mean, to be fair, it was like, why would you not put Melina in the game? Because she is a very popular character at this point.
Yep, for a couple of reasons.
And like, yeah,
Couple,
I think she will be in the main roster, not as DLC this time around.
yeah, I remember MK9 Melina is fine, whatever. Uh, kind of broken, but everyone in MK9 is broken. The design for her, the design difference in from 9 to 10. First of all, the girls in general all look better. Like, wow, they don't just dress like strippers. That's cool. I actually really appreciate that. But then like Melina's character design overall was one of my favorites out of all the female characters in Mortal Kombat. It was just going from, one to the next. Um Still dressed like a warrior, still functional. I mean, she has heels, so I mean, I don't know how. There's still a little bit of absurdity in there, but um, I also liked her mouth design. Instead of just copying Baraka's mouth, they gave her like they almost like protrude out of her mouth, like shark jaws. I think that was cool, and I don't know, she's just sadistic and
She's just
fun, and
sadistic.
you could honestly because there's a reset now, like fucking Melina and Katana could be like friendly rivals instead of like at each other's throats if you wanted. You could do some new stuff with them.
I mean, I've seen you play against me with Melina, so I know how much you love her. So,
Yeah, and here's the thing: she sucks at MK11. She has so much. Like, there's so much you have to do. You have to play her a certain way if you want to like have a chance at winning. And it's not always the way you want to play. Like, you want to have options. But I'm like, I just like the character. I like her, so I play her.
I mean, yeah. So I can understand why that's one of your choices, honestly.
Yeah, I know that's it's a, of course, Caleb, you would say this, but like I can't help it.
Oh man. So is it my turn again next?
Yeah, yeah, we're getting to the we're almost done with our first half here at round
I
8.
know. Fuck it. Let's just go straight to it. Bo Right Choi.
Wow. Wow. We went from Melina to Bo Raicho. Oh my god. Way to keep me on my fucking
I
toes.
know, right?
All right, yeah. Talk to me about Bo Raicho.
I thought he was really fun again to play as an MKX. So I mean, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him make another appearance. You know, that drunk bastard. It's just
The
like,
this would have been around if we're going back that far. Like you could write it so that like, oh, he's not like old and disgruntled. He's like his younger self if you wanted to. Actually, it might even be before he was around.
that is true, yeah. But
But
I just
still,
like to see him make a return, honestly. Like, he's just fun to play as an MK10. So
yeah.
that's it, really, for that I have to say for OHI. I mean, I don't think he has a really interesting story per se, other than him being drunk.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so I just like to play as him again, honestly, in like main roster.
I mean, I was just sitting here talking about Molina and just like I just like playing. Like
Exactly, like so.
some of these are for story reasons, but there's definitely some that are just fan favorites.
All right, so is it your turn again?
Yes. Um, and I really don't know how likely this is. I could be convinced either way, but I put him on here, I guess, for safety's sake. I have Aaron Black as my number 8.
You know, that was on my list for a while, but I took him off because I wasn't sure either.
Yeah, it's like he was one of the favorites from MKX. In fact, one of the standouts from MKX, I would say. Um, very story like lore wise, very interesting. Like this gunslinger bounty hunter that's paid in like time. I think that's really interesting. Like, he gets paid with money too, but like he's primarily hired. He's working with time as his currency, so he's survived this long. I think that's really interesting. But then you go to MK11's story, and he's just a jobber. Like he's just there to not do anything,
They
really.
they made him so boring in MK11.
Yeah, he's all like in MKX. He looked cool, and he kind of backed it up with how he acted, and he had like real story implicate like threat to him. In MK11, like he looks cool, but like he would start to do something and then fail almost immediately. And it's like, he could do so much more. Fuck, even when they do the whole like, I was so mad with him because I think he had even more potential in MK11 than he did in 10 because of the whole like, oh, our past selves conflicting with our future selves. His past self was a good guy. He worked for Kotal Khan, and Kotal Khan's our friend now. You could very easily have the Aaron Black with Chronica and Shao Kahn fighting against the Aaron Black with Kotal, and there could definitely be a like, hey, if you come over to this side, we'll triple your pay. Like have like a almost like a bidding war between the two of them. Like there was or even like I would have loved it if Johnny Cage was like, hey, I will sign you into like 50% of my box office gross for the rest of my life if you switch sides right now. He'd be like, yep, I'm not dumb. I'm switching sides. Like I would have loved that. That would have been so like interesting. And I think that with a time reset, there's potential there. And again, he gets paid like with time, taking time off of his life. But like also I could totally see them the OG tournament gunslinger. I'm like I could see them just leaving him out
Yeah, I could see
entirely.
that too because considering he was in the last two games at this point, so
Mhm.
like maybe they will leave him out this time around. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. You just
It
want a
could
better story from him though, right?
I think there's more potential than what we got. I think he has untapped potential, and I think when you reset your storyline, you do it to simplify things and to explore, like I said, explore new avenues. And I think he could take him in that direction if they choose to. But again, I wouldn't be pissed off if they left him off. I would kind of just shrug and be like, "No, I get it." Based on what I saw in MK11, you guys don't really. have much motivation to write this character. So I get it.
Yeah, I agree with you on all that for Aaron Black. He's cool, but like they made him kind of lame in this one.
Yeah.
All right, so it's my turn again.
Round 9, yeah.
Oh man. Well, technically it was gonna be Kenshi, but I'm skipping over him since we talked about him already. So
Okay.
this might be a little left field too. For my next character,
Mm.
Kintaro.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, because like he made a cameo in both X and 11, so like it wouldn't be loud technically out of left field, would it?
Oh, that's right. Oh, I was sitting there scratching my head like 11. What are you high?
No, he
And then
wasn't it.
nope, I'm high because he's in Shang Tsung's fatality. Yeah, you're right. And
But
that's
yeah,
a
no, I would like to see him return like as a full playable character because I just think his moveset's cool as like a Tiger Fist, and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I would like to see him make a return as a full
And
playable character.
I could totally see like instead of Goro in this timeline, now we have Kintaro.
Yeah,
And
that
he
I would
would
prefer that.
fulfill basically the same role.
Much prefer that if they did that, honestly.
I think yeah, now you mention it, I think he has a good chance of actually being in there.
All right, so it's your turn.
Yeah, going back to the left field again, I don't even know if people are going to know who the fuck I'm talking about. But my number nine, well, yeah, number 9 would be Serena.
Serena. Oh wow, that's a
Yeah,
name I haven't heard of.
yeah, she was definitely from a deeper, darker era. She made an appearance in the story mode of MKX. She had some dialogue, and she fought a little bit in the background. She was definitely not like uh, right up in the front, but she served under Quan Chi. She was actually, I think she was one of his like personal guards or assassins. She was supposed to kill Sub Zero, but Sub Zero ended up like becoming her best friend or whatever, and she turned heel. Um, I think in the because I played Cabal quite a bit in MK11. I'm pretty sure she is like his love
She
interest
made a cameo appearance in 11 as well, I think, if I'm correct.
in like the story.
Yeah,
Could be.
and she also I think she also made cameo appearances in 9 and 10 as well, if I'm correct too. I don't know.
Definitely in definitely in 10 for sure. Because yeah, again,
So
she
I
had
I
like
think
full
she
on
could
lines of
definitely
dialogue.
make a comeback as a playable character, honestly.
And because she was such a nothing, like gameplay wise, she's basically a blank slate. You could interpret her however you want. If you want to make her a zoner, sure. If you want to give her like twin daggers and have her be a mix-up character, sure. You want to give her a teleport? Why not? I've never seen her teleport before. I can't tell you that that's against canon because I haven't seen her do anything. I think she because yeah, blank slate in the most polite way possible. I don't mean it as a slam. It's a like, hey, look at the
Which is give
potential.
it a new idea, new spin.
Yes, exactly. New ideas. Yeah.
So is it my turn again?
Yep.
Okay, so these next last four that I'm gonna talk about are like the DLC ones I was hinting at just now.
Mm.
Um, so the first one I'm gonna talk about is Ash from the Evil Dead franchise, who definitely has a
Oh.
big chance of getting
Oh.
in as DLC, right? Like,
Oh.
because like,
Okay.
right?
Okay. All right. We're going guest characters now.
Yeah, we're gonna go guest characters, and like I would like to see Ash from Evil Dead finally make his appearance because they actually I heard in like some sort of data mine base that they were like gonna have him as DLC, but I think it was like a licensing problem because there was already gonna be an Evil Dead game coming out, which it was come out. So
Yes.
so hopefully,
My go ahead.
hopefully in 12 like we'll finally get him as a guest character.
My theory is that that's why we got Joker is because they were trying to get Ash Williams in the game, but the copyright issues delayed the progress so much that when they finally found out, no, it's not going to happen, they were like, shit, we're running out of time. We can't go, the time it would take to reach out to another company, establish commerce, it'll take too long. But we already have the rights to DC characters. Let's just
So
call
just
up
throw
one
in
of those
Joker.
boys. Let them see if we can borrow Joker for a bit, because the NRS has also worked on Injustice.
So
So
that was an easy choice for them, like to
those
do
lines
that.
of communication were already there. So they were like, sure, it's cool. Hit the emergency, break the glass, hit the red button, get Joker in here. And I think that's why, because Joker is fun, but he stands out in the MK11 cast. He doesn't fit in with the rest of them, and I think that's my theory. It's my tinfoil hat theory is that we were supposed to get Ash Williams, but it fell through, so we got Joker.
He would just fit perfectly in this universe, honestly. Like I would
Oh
just love to
yeah,
see him in this universe.
the absurd gore and the cheeky comedy, like fucking done. He's basically made for Mortal Kombat. He fits in better in Mortal Kombat than Spawn does, and I think Spawn's a perfect fit.
Exactly. So it's like, man, bring in Ash, guys. Come on, let's finally bring him in.
Uh, I think that if Ash shows up in MK12, but it's not Bruce Campbell and it's a like a sound alike, I think that still counts.
Counts because it has the design and like the chainsaw and stuff like that. If it still looks like him, then it counts.
Yes, if on the character select screen it says Ash Williams, I think that counts.
Yeah. So is it your turn again next?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was getting excited
I know.
because
I
we
know.
did
I know.
best
Ash being
characters.
in Evil
Oh.
Dead's very exciting.
um, well, and also we're talking about like old school. We're going back to like the N64 days, Armageddon, Deadly Alliance, and then you walk in here and just go like, "Hey," with a bat that says guest character on the side. Okay. My 11th choice here. Where are we at? Scarlet. I still want to see Scarlet. I think she also wins. She wins an award for most improved visual design from MK9 to MK11. Because MK9, she seriously just. I'm like, this is the most cookie cutter bargain bin. It kind of is perfect because back in the Sega Genesis, Nintendo arcade days, Reptile and Ermac and Rain were all just palette swaps of the same character. And so when you look at Scarlet and MK9, you're like, I mean, yeah, she literally is just a red female ninja.
I
Whoop-de-doo.
love
And her
Scarlet.
and her fatalities were kind of interesting, but like her moveset didn't necessarily take full advantage of the character. MK11 was Scarlet realized. Like she was no longer just a meme before memes were a thing. She became her own. And I would actually really like to see some of the implications played out in full, where like, oh, she was an orphan and she was taken off the streets. Kind of a for those the people that watch Naruto, she's kind of the Haku to Shao Kahn. Like she had nothing growing up. She was taken in by someone, and it just so happens that someone was a horrible, awful dictator, and she dedicated her life to defending that person. I think there's potential there. You could if you want to keep going with that, you can. If you want to alter her a little bit, you can. I just like the idea of a bloodbender, especially in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I love Scarlet, and I love playing her in MK11. And so, like, I would love to see her as a main character in 12. Like, flesh
Yeah,
her story out, give her some new move sets. She's really fun, and I really would
yeah,
love to see her more fleshed out in the story, honestly, too.
yeah.
So,
All right.
is it my turn again?
Yeah, how are you gonna follow up Ash Williams?
Well, I'm gonna follow up Ash Williams with another DLC guest character prediction here. So
Okay.
we've had a lot of like horror movie villains in the franchise. Who have we had? We've had Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Predator, Alien, Freddy Krueger.
Hmm.
We've had pretty much a lot of like 80s, 90s killers and stuff like that. So
Mm,
keeping in with that tradition, I would like to see Pinhead from Hellraiser make an
mm.
appearance
All right.
because he could have a really interesting moveset, like with his chains and and the cube and stuff like that. Like I think there could be some interesting fatalities too with his chains and his and his demons um um lackeys that he has too in the movies.
The Cenobites.
The Cenobites, yes, sorry, Cenobites.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Pinhead make an appearance since we have had like other 80s killers in the franchise before too.
And I think you're right, especially when I flash back to this indie fighting game called Terror Drome, where Pinhead is literally a character you can
I've
pick in
heard
that
about
fighting
that game
game.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like a trap zoner where like his chains can kind of keep you at bay. But up close, he has a super where he calls on the Cenobites to all just fucking just gangbang you. So like, there's potential there for sure. It can be done. They make Ghostface into a cool character. Like you could do it.
I think it could be done too.
Yeah, yeah,
So is it your turn again?
it is.
We're nearing the end.
Still, yeah, we're coming up on the end here. Not quite all the way out into left field, but like we're on the way there. Is I have Havoc. Havoc. The Chaos Realm has not been explored nearly enough. When I think of an OG tournament, I think of representatives from every realm. To Earth. We have the Earth Realm characters. We have Outworld. We have Nether Realm, Order, and Chaos Realm. We've seen almost no one from Order Realm. I think that with a new tournament, especially if it's one of the first ones, I think it would be really interesting to take that chance and give us Havoc, who um, wasn't like the most optimal character gameplay wise, but it was fun to watch him because he would like break his knees backwards to kick you down, like to trip you,
It's kind of
and that
gross
was
looking.
he's very gross looking. It's basically like fighting a zombie
Yeah.
because like he twists and contort, and I think with the especially the animation department they have now, I think Havoc could be really fun to watch.
He
I think it'd be a
cameoed
lot of
in the
fun to
other
play.
games too, rightly.
Yeah, he's in Joker's. If you play MK11 arcade mode and you pick Joker, he's right there, blatantly, like center frame, clear as day. That's
I
Havoc.
think he could definitely be a playable character in the next one
I
if he
think that'd
cameoed.
be. I would love that. I would like to see. I just between him, Molina, and Draman. I guess I just love like sick, twisted weirdos. This list is exposing me as being a sadist.
Well, speaking of sick, twisted weirdos, I have
Hmm.
another guest character on my list here.
Okay.
Um, uh, keeping up with the tradition of horror movie killers, this one's a little more recent, um, per se. But I'm gonna go with Pennywise the Clown from the It series.
I mean, it's a Warner Brothers property, and
It's a
it
Warner
would be
Bros.
pretty easy.
property. It could be
Yeah.
easy to get, and he's a very
Mm-hmm.
popular horror IP right now. So I mean, I could
Mm-hmm.
definitely see him being in this type of universe, considering his weird, gross factor he has too. So
Yeah.
I
I mean,
would.
they made Leatherface into
Yeah,
a
they made
DLC
Leatherface into
character.
it, so I mean, I think Pennywise could easily fit into this, considering like he has a lot of he actually has a lot of more powers than you think in the
Mm-hmm.
movies too. Like he has those stretchy arms, he could turn into anything essentially. Like so, yeah. Like I think there could be a lot of interesting move sets for Pennywise, personally.
Mm.
So is your second to last one now?
Second to last one. This is we're rounding just about rounding things out because we still got to talk about like a few other things. But I have Shujinko for my second to or third to last choice. Shujinko, the weirdo like self-insert character from the Conquest story mode.
The one almost reminds me of Hachi in Tekken.
Oh yes, yeah, and also he has kind of a Pai Mei from Kill Bill kind of look to him. I think he could be really interesting as a jack of all trades kind of character. It would be nice to see a nod back to the conquest mode again. In fact, the conquest mode is getting more limelight lately because people, when they look at the trailer footage for Street Fighter 6 and they see kind of the story mode for that, they're like, "Is this just conquest mode from fucking Mortal Kombat?" Like, yeah, I think it's a good time to bring him back. I wouldn't be heartbroken if he wasn't, but it'd just be kind of a cool, like, hey, you guys remember?
Yeah, I mean, Sujanko hasn't really appeared in games since like Armageddon, really. So like,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
did make a cameo in X. So I mean, he could technically do it, right?
they could. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so it's my last character next. Oh
I think we're
wow.
on 14.
Oh well, I think it's technically my last character since we technically had a double, I think. But I think it is. But anyways, I think my last character is also a guest character as well. I'm predicting. Since we also had this certain other guest in the last game, I think it would be very appropriate if we had her in this game this time around.
Mm,
It would be Sarah Connor from the Terminator franchise.
mm,
We had the Terminator in MK11, so I think it would be really neat to have Sarah Connor in it because she could have a similar moveset to someone like Sonya or like somebody like
yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
guns, very fast, very muscular.
Hmm.
I would like to see someone like Sarah Connor make appearance. I was actually debating her or Ripley from Alien, but I feel like Ripley doesn't have as much of a moveset compared to Sarah Connor does.
No, Sarah's definitely more the like trained for
Agile.
combat. Yeah, I love Ellen Ripley, but
I do too.
she's more of a
But she's
survivalist.
more survivalist than fighter.
She reacts to the things around her, whereas Sarah definitely. I mean, she she just decided to load up and just go kill Miles Dyson. Like,
If that
I'm just
isn't a
gonna
fighter to you, then I don't know
casually,
what is.
just gonna go casually terminate this man.
That's why I love. Again, that's why I loved also about Terminator 2 is like it kind of like reversed the roles in a way.
Oh, that's
Like,
why she breaks down. That's why she starts
hmm
crying, is because she realizes that she's become the thing she fears the most. So that rush of emotion is the sudden like break of like, oh no, I'm still human. But oh god, the trip it took to get there. Yeah, that moment catches me every now and then when I watch it. I'll just be like, oh god, here, oh boy, I'm feeling things.
man, Terminator 2 is such a good sequel, man.
I'm gonna
They
watch it today now.
they didn't make any more after that, right?
Nope, that was the last Terminator movie. Definitely, definitely no more sequels, spin-offs, or bad prequels for
James
Christian Bale.
Cameron, come back, come back.
Um, for my next one,
Oh yeah,
I have. So I'm gonna pick up the pace here a little bit, so you're not missing your movie. I have Smoke as my next choice.
of course.
Yes. Whether he's human or cyborg, I don't give a shit. He was so fun to play as an MK9. I loved uh, doing his ground projectile to teleport them up in the air, and then jumping up and doing an air throw. That was just just so fucking so good. And his X-ray was super fun. I think that he's got. I would like to see him reinterpreted as a new character, or not a new character, but as a. I guess I want human. Now that I think about it, I guess I want human Smoke. It doesn't matter one way or the other, but if I had to choose, the gun to my head, I think I would prefer human Smoke.
Yeah, I went up against a lot of Smoke people too. My friend was a Smoke fan, and fuck me, man, was he so good with Smoke? Ugh, I hate going against Smoke, but yeah, I could see him returning for sure as a main character in 12.
Mm.
So I actually miscounted for you. I thought it was also 15 for you, but it seems like you also have one more. I went over my limit apparently. So did
Did
you want to talk about your last character then?
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, did you miscount? Because
I
I only have
miscount
14
me
for you.
for you. That's my bad. So
Oh, okay, gotcha. No, I have
so
Devore as
go
my
ahead and
last
go to
one.
your last character.
It's Devora. Just because.
Oh,
Just because
that's
Devora. You
Devora.
know,
In case
I
you
don't
don't
need to
know
explain
people,
anymore.
he plays Devora like every day. Like I get when I play against him, like
Yeah, I
he
do at
loves
least one Devora round.
at
I don't
least
even need to
one
explain
Devora
it.
match.
Hmm
He'll get too.
I
But
just, I just,
I definitely think she'll make an appearance again.
yeah, she'll look different for sure. They reinvent her every
Uh
time
huh.
they've put her in a game, but like, and they have this thing going with her now where like she's the assassin character. She's killed so many mainstay
Dude,
characters.
she's killed so many characters. It's not even funny, man.
I feel like they'll keep her around so they have an excuse when they need to kill somebody off, and then they'll just shrug and be like, "That's Devora for you." Da, 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 da. Like that's. I feel like that's even that if that's her only reason for being in the story, I'm like, I mean, that's as good enough a reason as any in these fucking games.
Yeah, I definitely think she'll make an appearance again. So,
Mm.
bet your bottom dollar that you'll play as her every day when this game comes out.
Hmm
Um, so I think that's it, right? That's it for all the
Did
characters.
I was going off of that template that I looked at before. I have a few specifics, and I mean, we can always talk about this later off camera. But I can just lightning round them real quick.
Oh, so sorry. I had an audio glitch there. What was that you said again?
The template that I sent you before we did this. I was going off of that, so I have a few other like outliers.
Oh, Outliers. Okay. Um,
Um, I can lightning round them real
yeah,
quick.
sure. Who were the
A-
Outliers that you were talking about?
And then and like later, if you wanna like, I would love to hear your like who you would want for these.
I haven't
So
really
I
thought of
think
Outliers myself, but I will think about them. I'll text you about them for sure.
yeah. So yeah, because I want to know. I think because for each game in this new like series, so to speak, they always do a hey, pre-order now and you get this character.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
they've done Shao Kahn, they've done Goro. I think this time it'll be Motaro.
You think it'll be Motaro this time
I'm
around?
gonna I'm gonna go ahead and swing for the fence. Some people have said Onaga. I don't think that's quite the case. I think Onaga could be the
You
final
know what
boss.
though? That's a good prediction, TBH. Because Motaro
I
hasn't been in the franchise since what, like Armageddon?
Yep. And he was not a centaur. He was just a dude
He
with
was just a
like goat
dude, yeah.
horns. And they've been talking about how they're reinventing their system engine for next gen consoles. And I think a lot like as they're doing that, it would not surprise me if they took advantage of new tech and found a way to have Motaro be playable as a centaur.
I would love to see it honestly, because
I
Motaro has a cool design.
So I think the pre-order bonus will be Motaro. I think the final boss of the game is going to be Onaga from fucking Deadly
Onaga.
Alliance.
Ooh, haven't heard that name
Um,
in a while.
yeah, well, they dropped it once and then they were done.
One and done.
um, one and done. I think that the initial roster that they start off with in the game will be like 30 to 3. I think it'll be in the lower
You
30s
think it'll be up to
range.
30s? I
Yeah,
think
well,
more. I think more.
MK9. I can't remember how many they had for MK9.
I'm gonna guess at least 40.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. For starting, not including like add-on,
not
like
including the
unlockable
add-ons.
DLC. Okay. I mean, I would,
This is the next
I
gen,
would,
bro. We need to like fucking up this shit.
I would prefer that it was 40. I would love it for you to be right. Um, but I'm gonna lowball it just a little bit because I know that they're gonna expand it and add like a fucking like 15 characters for DLC. And that'll work out to be like 50 some odd, maybe 60. For a guest character, I think they would be stupid to not have the feral predator in there.
Oh, so you want Predator in there? Ah, okay.
I specifically want the feral predator, not just any predator. I want the feral predator from Prey.
You want that? Okay, that one would be cool to have actually.
And he could have a completely different move set. And if it comes back around, like what I said earlier, and Amber Midthunder is the female Nightwolf, they could have a little vocal exchange before the fight where you go, "Oh, hey, that's like the movie."
Yeah, imagine like if Nightwolf said, I've seen you before," or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I think Cole Young from the movie will probably be a DLC character.
Ugh.
Some people have said that he'll be in like the main story. If he is, like, I might actually just I shouldn't say this over the internet. I'd be mad. Let's just say I'll be upset. I don't want to have Cole Young as a canon character, but I would be okay with him being DLC because I know that the next movie in the series is going to be out
And that's gonna have him
before too
probably in
long.
it.
Yes, so it would not surprise me if they did a little cross promotion. And then finally, total like a wild card, total like gameplay wise, like a new mechanic or something. I would like them to bring back tag team.
Ooh, yes, yes, yes.
If we're
Yes, I
talking like
miss tag team.
gameplay mechanics, like the how you actually play the game, I would love to see tag team come back.
Yes, I miss tag teams honestly since 9.
And they've already said that they're getting rid of variations.
So
Like
that
that's not.
that probably gives us a chance, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that that frees up a lot of manpower, and it probably brings a lot of stress off of the game as a product overall. And I think that that could very well leave some room for tag team. And people have been throwing a bitch fit ever since it was taken out of MK9. I think again, kind of like the Molina situation. I think they've learned their lesson and are going to include it this time.
I think Ed Boon has learned.
He's a smart man.
He's a smart man. I think he'll take the feedback to heart, right?
Yeah.
He always does, I feel like. And like it's kind of similar to how Street Fighter 6 is being handled with the feedback right now. Like, oh, we want this, we want that, you know?
Yeah, they're actually like they're listening.
And Tekken 8 is a similar situation too.
Oh yeah.
Dude, every fighting
Yeah.
game's coming out and we're very excited for it.
I I I'm so worried. I'm like, we're so close to like the whole new generation of the big three. I'm like, oh god, I got. Please don't let life get in the way. Please
My
just
pants
give me my big
are
three.
my pants are on fire right now with these games.
My pants are shrinking.
My
They are
my my
two sizes
wallet my
taller.
wallet is crying for help with
Oh
money.
shit! Yeah, I didn't even think about that. These games are expensive. I had a question for you because you've got some guest characters on your wish
Hmm.
list. Between them, if Ed Boon came to you and said, "Hey, I heard you. I like your list, but we can only afford to do one," which one would you do?
Ash. I want Ash back. I want Ash for
Yeah,
sure. He
that's
would
yeah,
fit in the most.
yeah. I think so too. That's kind of the that it feels like the obvious answer, but I think I just needed to hear it from you.
I just really want him in it. Like it just
Yeah,
would be so fun to play as
yeah,
him in an MK game.
yeah. I agree. He'd be perfect. I mean, he would kind of have the same chainsaw attacks like with Leatherface. There's potential there.
Hmm.
Shotgun super slick. His one liners. Can you imagine him saying like a
Exactly.
quippy one
And if Bruce
liner
Campbell
after each
does
like shotgun
return as
blast?
the voice, I'd be so happy. Like because like I know he said he's retired from Ash, but like I would just love to see him as Ash
Icing
and
on the cake.
yeah.
Icing on the cake.
Well, I think that wraps it up essentially for our predictions and hopes, right? For MK12.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the weirdos we want
The
back, the fan
outliers that we
favorites we want
want, you
back.
know.
Yeah, pre-order bonuses, some mechanic stuff. Like I just fucking love this series so
I love
much.
this series too, and
It's
I
I,
can't wait for this
it's
new
one
one
of
to
those
come out.
things where like it's so huge, everyone knows at least a little bit about it. Like you say Mortal Kombat, and people at least
Oh,
know
it's like,
kind of
oh,
what you're
that
talking
game.
about. Yeah, like there's sometimes where I say Tekken to people, and they're like, "What are you talking
What are
about?"
you
They're like,
talking about?
never mind." Street
But
Fighter
the
has the same kind of appeal, but I feel like
yeah,
Street Fighter. is more for the hardcore crowd. I mean, a little bit.
But
It's
Mortal
not as
Kombat,
popular
like I
as
feel like
Mortal Kombat.
everybody knows like the gore, the characters and stuff like that. Like Scorpion, Sub-Zero are so popular, like
It is
everybody knows them.
so wild and crazy and over the top. Yeah, yeah. I feel like Street Fighter will just. It's great. I love it, but I feel like it'll always be eclipsed by Mortal Kombat. It's going to be hard for any fighting game franchise to breach into the mainstream the way Mortal Kombat has, and for good reason, because it's a lot of fun. It's stupid, but it's fun.
It's like that B movie type of horror humor. Like we just love it so much.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well,
Very tr-
I think that wraps about it up for everything with our predictions. Um,
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
guess
We'll
well,
see what
whenever they
happens.
announce it, the trailer,
Hmm.
I kind of want to do like some sort of like review reaction with you if that once that trailer drops, like that
Oh,
gameplay
that'd be
trailer.
fun. Oh, you're speaking my language.
Oh
I
man.
like this. I like where this is going.
All right. Well, before we leave, where can they find you again on social media?
You can find me on Instagram for ThatSamoanGuy88, but I primarily just post like Twitch clips and like Twitch announcements. For the most part, I hang out on Twitch, twitch.tv/ThatSamoanGuy is where I spend most of my time nowadays because I don't have Twitter. I try to stream 3, if not 4 times a week. It again, stick to the Instagram, you'll know then. I have a mushroom by the same name, that Samoan guy.
And then you can also find me on Twitter as well by my name Sean Lieber. Again, you can just subscribe to the channel, and if you liked what you saw, you can always get get notifications as well whenever we upload. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know when the next episode will be. Maybe some sort of like when the trailer comes out, I guess. Sometime soon. It has to be soon, right? For a
I
trailer.
mean, I mean that's the part I'm not too sure about because the way it was announced was somebody
So
with Ed Boon,
casually.
somebody recorded and uploaded a like a WB conference
Meeting,
meeting, and
yeah. And
it
Ed
was
Boon, I think, was there,
definitely
right?
Ed Boon was there, but it was definitely not how they initially wanted to reveal it because it's very casual, very
Yeah,
low
oh yeah,
key.
MK12's coming.
It would not surprise me if, because when does Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League come
May.
out? May? Okay. It would not surprise me if MK12 comes out within the same fiscal, like the same time frame
Like,
as
so, like,
Justice
I'd say
League.
July or August, maybe.
I think what will probably happen, if I was a betting man, I think that we'll get the official, the for real announcement around July or August, and the release date will be towards the holidays.
Like November, I would say.
Yeah, because when they announced MK11, it was only like a 3 or 4 month turnaround. Like it was
It was at the
barely
Game
any
Awards,
wait.
yeah.
Is it the Game Awards? And then they were like, "Oh yeah, the game will be out in April." And they're like, "Whoa,
Okay, you need to give us
sorry,
time to
what?
breathe.
What?" Yeah, exactly. They weren't interested in doing a long promotional campaign. They just wanted to be like they wanted to capitalize, kind of like some other games like Hi-Fi Rush have done, where they're like, "Oh yeah, you barely have to wait. I know
Mm-hmm.
you're excited, but
It
basically
comes out
like
today.
blink and it'll be out." I think that they'll probably do a similar thing. So whenever we get an announcement, whether it's I would love June, but whether it's June, July, or August, I think that it'll be out this year, but I think it'll probably be more towards the end of the year is when the game will actually get into our hands.
And well, I guess we'll see and find out. Well, thank
Yep.
you again, Simone Guy, for joining me on the podcast.
Oh, dude, it's
And
Mortal Kombat.
I
Like,
know.
you say the words, and I'm practically there.
And I guess we'll see you guys next time on the next episode of One Take. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.